Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to From the Depths with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome very briefly back to the sandbox mode. Now, last night I decided I was going to be doing a little bit of building in order to start creation for our next vehicle. I decided I wanted cram cannons, I wanted more advanced cannons, I wanted the larger variant, and for once, I didn't want to use missiles. Now, I was torn between building an airship, or building a regular ship, or maybe even a submarine. Of course, we will be focusing more on subs and aircraft in this season, so if we did build a regular ship, it really shouldn't be too big, and certainly shouldn't be too overkill. That was the idea, before I drank a little bit too much beer and had a rather sleepless night, thus creating this. This was my idea of small. Now, it isn't the largest ship in the world, but as you can tell, it hasn't really fulfilled its original purpose. This is the Mollalla's Will. Now, for those who are asking, Molalla is one of the dark gods, one of the chaos gods from the Warhammer universe, in which we do name a lot of our things, Khorne being one of the other gods. Now, Molalla is essentially the renegade god, the god of anarchy, and I think this ship fits the bill overly well. Because of using only wooden armor, this thing is incredibly vulnerable to armor penetration and extremely large explosives, which means a lot of these guns will simply blow up upon being hit. But to counter this, it has one of the highest amounts of firepower of any craft I have built in the past maybe year or so. Each of these advanced cannons, these ones here, are actually more powerful than the Mini-Khorne's main advanced cannon. The cannon in the middle is a 500mm advanced cannon, which fires at a whopping 120 rounds per minute, which isn't actually all that amazing, but it is amazing when you consider the cost of the overall vehicle, which we will get to in a second. We have the maximum gauge cram cannons at the back, and then we have the smaller cram cannons pretty much everywhere. And there's the drone flying in the background. Overall, this thing can put out a ridiculous amount of damage in a very, very short amount of time over a very long range. Now, when it comes to the cost, it's only 75,000 resources, which makes it only 15,000 more than the hauler, despite the fact this is a 15,000 volume limit increase over the hauler, and of course that's because of all the wood, so overall, it's actually not a very expensive boat. It just has a ridiculous amount of guns, and one feature I'm really proud of, but before we show off this, I do need to do one thing before it annoys me too much, and that is to change this. Disable water removal effects. Using this causes a lot of lag to go away. However, it means it looks like everything's flooding. There we go. So the feature I was talking about is this. You can actually go all the way through this craft, through a series of corridors, or you can go to the top and then use the walkways. Every section of this craft is completely accessible, even when looking at some of the guns, which I am really happy with. So here we are at the front. This craft isn't yet done, by the way, so if you see a lot of elements like this, where the control block is just being exposed, that's because it's not quite finished yet. You can go around here, you can look through windows, look at all the other guns, and then continue forth. One of the 3 AI are currently being housed in that one metal block. It's the only places I use metal armor, except for the ammunition storage. Once again, you can see some of the guns going around here. There will be windows eventually, and that is the main gun there. The engines are just on the other side of that, which there is a door to, which we passed by mistake. You can enter here for one of the other guns. You get the gist. You can go pretty much anywhere on this vehicle remarkably easily, except for the top of here. So I am thinking about building a staircase, which goes from here down to here. So as you can tell, I'm kind of proud of this craft. It's going to be one of the next craft we spawn in. And hopefully, it's going to be a lot of fun, because it's going to keep on taking a lot of damage, and dishing out even more. Okay, back to the campaign. Lathrix showing off is now over. I hope you like the vehicle. Tell me in the comments below. So here we are then, back in the campaign. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I am going to scrap the Sea Cobra. It's kind of sad because this thing did give me a bit of a fright with the fact it had a nuke inside of it, but it's just not going to be used by me, so goodbye to you. Maybe I shouldn't have been standing on there when I destroyed it, but that's just my own fault. Not the sea cobras. So we can still remember the sea cobra fondly now that we've destroyed it. The second thing is we are going to do the same thing to the fortress over here because I don't want to spare resources in order to repair it. So you can go bye-bye as well, hopefully giving me a bit more than that. That was okay. We can now build 2 more of our lovely drones if we so desire. And that is way too slow. Okay, Sinner's Outpost. Let's jump on board you for a second. You are not harvesting as fast as I would like. So, let's get you back up to speed then. Material Gatherer. There's the thing I am looking for. And you can go like so. Ding, 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 ding. You see, the dings are very important to make sure it's happy. Oh, your engine power is terrible. That's the problem. Is your engine damaged, or is this your maximum output? Oh. Well, this place doesn't have unlimited resources anyway, so it's not like us not draining at full speed is that terrible. In fact, it only has 22,000 left, so is it worth upgrading it further? It's really not. Even a very cheap engine is just not going to be worth the resource potential, so never mind. What we're going to do is attack the fishing village, which by the looks of things does have a little bit of defense. So let's move you two over to there. Move you two over to there. That sounds very odd, and I'm sure there's a lot of better ways to say that. Anyway, the Arblast is probably... I can never say that word correctly. Anyway, that's probably got weapons. The coastal defense definitely has weapons. Then there's all the houses, so if we kill the 2 defenses, we can then jump down, capture the houses, and that resource will then fuel our war effort, and maybe get Mollalla's Will into the fight a little bit sooner. I may end up calling it Corn's Will, honestly, or something else. Hello, fishing village! Welcome to the Lathrixian domain. If you simply give up, we may be merciful. If not, we're going to burn down your homes. It's really that simple. Small house, not really worth all that much material, but if we simply capture them, that means we do get the full material back. So, still over 10k, which is still very, very nice, considering we are already over a quarter of the way to our new ship. In fact, we're about a third, if I can do basic math. Oh, yeah, I kind of forgot about this. Really should have spawned much further back, because last time we killed this so easily because its missiles were out of range of our cannon fire, so we could kill it and it couldn't kill us. Oh, you're a windmill. I misread what you were. Oh, okay. So you only have 1 defender. Well, that's even better then. I'm sorry that I misread you. Okay, please carry on. Cannon fire already completely taking out the turret. Okay, we've won. Stop firing. You've done it. You've took out its turret, therefore it's safe for us to land. And thus, I don't feel bad about capturing because we've already won the fight. Well, that was rather pleasant. Took a little bit of damage on our back section, but nothing too major. Now for the boring task of trying to find all the AI on these things. I am really proud of this drone, by the way. It's not the best craft in the world, but for its extremely low cost, it makes me happy. Even if my stamina is coming back terribly at the moment. I blamed the lack of sleep building last night. So where is your AI? Okay, house the first. So next, okay, next, I think we should grab that, just in case it is repairing. It shouldn't be able to, since according to the rules, they shouldn't have repair bots, but you never really know. Okay, let's do this one instead, because the window's already broken open. It's very tempting to rob somewhere when the window's already broken, apparently. You're bigger than the other place, so where's your AI? Oh, please don't say it's in the oh, really? Fine. Nice chairs, by the way. Can I shoot through that little piece of wood there? I might be able to, actually. Not quite. Your hitboxes are inaccurate. There we go, and nope, you have another one somewhere, which is right there. Okay. The SMG is so much better. I am rather glad, though, that right now, some of my level bonuses have been spent in making my guns a little bit stronger, because otherwise, this would take significantly longer than it currently is. Oh, come on. Is the AI right at the top? Or am I missing it at the bottom? Ooh, maybe I'm missing it. That would be great if I am. I'm guessing that control block is for the spinny, which I've knocked off. It's like a beacon of light. There it is. And there we go. One more for us. Lovely. Now towards the tower. That just seems dangerous. Okay, so this time the AI is in the middle in a giant metal box. Open. Fine. I prefer using the blunderbuss, but the SMGs are so much better, it's ridiculous. Are you made out of wood? Please don't hit anything else. There's way too many explosives in this place. You are through here, right? Oh, that's the most difficult way of doing it. Oh, actually, it's going to be difficult anyway. This is going to take forever. Can I come down from the top instead, maybe? No, I can't, because then this whole place blows up. Well, so it turns out the first house we didn't even manage to fully capture, so that's just wonderful. So now I've had to go back in on myself, and I think the second AI is over here. There we go, goodbye. It seems like the tiny houses are actually more annoying than the larger houses, unless... Is there an easier way from underneath? Yes, there is. Hello, AI, and goodbye, and welcome to the Lathrixian Legion. I totally won't be burning down your houses anytime soon. I'm guessing you are one last tiny house, which means your AI is located on the top. Although, by the looks of things... Oh, I thought you actually hit. Oh, you definitely are hit from this side. Oh, you're an even smaller house. Maybe the other one was small and you are tiny. So where is your AI then? There we go, all of the houses are now ours, and before I forget, people were asking me to do one thing, and I think I agree with them. We are going to be upping the enemy design difficulty to absolute maximum, so there we are, ×3. Although I think when you first enter this campaign, you can't fight certain enemies until you've been playing for a while anyway. So if we keep on seeing the smaller, more easy designs rather than the godly and stuff, it's just because we've only just entered the campaign, and you have a bit of a grace period, if that still exists, because otherwise new players would be overwhelmed instantly, especially if they haven't built a craft in the sandbox mode first, which I would always highly recommend doing anyway. So, let's start scrapping these houses. Small house, goodbye. You, goodbye. Tiny house, goodbye, you were really annoying. Medium house, same for you, although apparently the other ones really wanted to die first, since they kept on getting in the way. Defense, goodbye, and then... you again, because apparently I didn't actually press you the first time. And that's it, we now have 40,000 resources. We are very close to getting that ship in the game already. So I think what we should do is continue to push east, since that's where their base is. So when they do send an attack, which should be soon, we are on ×2, right? Yeah, ×2 enemy growth factor. We can kind of intercept them.
Moving out.
Here we go, about to engage the next enemy. So, let's have a quick look-see then. What's against us? We have the Wonder and something really small and hard to click on. The Hoplite. Okay, so I can't actually remember what the Wonder is, but apparently it's very expensive. So that's good for us, a bit more scrap, even if we are on 0.1 in terms of that. Let's be really annoying and spawn over the hills. There we are. Naturally, I forgot to turn the combat back on before now, and let's have a quick look-see what we are facing then. So this is the Wonder. I can't remember you for the life of me. Is that an advanced cannon with missile? I am very confused by this. That is really weird. What? No, that's a cram cannon with missiles attached. Okay, I mean, that works perfectly fine. It's just weird to see. Oh, look. One day, he will evolve into him. From the Depths Pokemon, everyone. Oh, the cannon's already stripping the back section very effectively. The missile volley is incoming, and just about enough fuel from this one to actually hit, and the Wanda is gone. And yeah, the cannons quickly dealt with you as well. I do feel sort of bad for the lovely Deepwater Guard here, but like I said at the very start of the campaign, we need to kill them quickly. I don't want to simply stagnate on them as I have done in the past. I want to simply go straight through them and then fight one of the other factions as soon as possible. Something like the Lightning Hoods or the Steel Striders, just something I am not too used to. Also, I can see another resource zone, so that is our goal then for today. Onwards to the next target. The next enemy is the Red Tuna. The Red Tuna, and of course the Vanguard retrofit, which I believe has an advanced cannon. Oh, both Red Tunas instantly being killed, now focusing on the Vanguard. Yep. The turret completely destroyed its weapon, and then the missiles destroyed everything else. Well, we took a little bit of damage, look, from one of the missiles from the Red Tuna, so well done, guys. You kind of scratched the paint a little bit. Well done.
Listening. Moving out. Moving out.
Did I mention I don't really feel too bad this time around? Well, I feel a little bit bad, but I'm just glad we can get through this so quickly. Next battle, let's see. So we have the Red Tuna and the Red Tuna. Is this getting a bit repetitive for anyone else, or is it just me? Oh, there's 3 of them, not 2 of them. Well, I was mistaken. Now there's one of them. Now there's none of them. I am thinking about making those missiles a bit longer range. I love how well they track enemies, but they're too small for that. Maybe just adding 1 extra fuel tank would be good, or actually, the best thing we can do is simply this. Swapping out keeping the variable thruster and making it slower, or this is what I'm going to go with. Where are you? Lowering the maximum range to 800. Since at the moment they just about miss, this should guarantee a hit, even if they're a little bit off. And yes, I am aware I kind of didn't do the other side. So I need to go back to the first one and do the other side as well.
Moving out.
Oh, hello, we've already reached the resource zone. Also, one of the Red Tuna actually did a lot of damage to one of our flyers, annihilating the ammo storage, which removed the the AI transmitter from the mainframe, so everything turned off, even though the mainframe was still alive. That was really weird. Oh, this is the fishing hole, a different enemy. Okay then, let's see if we can capture this. I'm only going to spawn in one of our craft to simply test the waters here.
Moving out. Moving out.
Hello, enemy. And let's begin.
Turning off.
And did we do it in time this time? Yes, we did. We managed to turn off our weapons. So this time, we haven't fired upon the enemy. Let's have a quick look-see then at what we're trying to capture. So this is the fishing hole. Oh! I believe this is actually the vehicle you start with when you're doing the Deepwater Guard campaign or something similar. Why is it taking damage? Did I fire a single round or something? No, that can't be a single round. That's actually an amazing amount of damage. That could not be from me. That's weird. Not quite sure what's going on there. So, yeah, it has cram cannon. Oh, it has a very big cram cannon. Maybe we should fire at it. If we do run the risk of killing it. But if we don't, it may kill us. I am not sure what to do here, honestly. Okay, we're going to run the risk of not firing. Let's just keep on twisting us as much as possible. We really need to be able to turn faster, honestly. Okay, that was bad. Well, we took a small hit on the side. That's fine. There we go. Managed to fool that one at least. Okay, firing the 2 large missiles and nothing else. Please don't kill the AI, kill anything else. Oh, that almost hit the weapon, then suddenly swerved at the last second. That's going to hurt. Yep, thought so. Okay, we did a lot of damage there, though. One of its guns is gone, but not the huge one, which is honestly what I'm more scared of. Okay, now let's do a full turn, rather than that little, very weak turn I was doing before. And let's get ready to try... Okay, turn left. Yes, just dodging it. As soon as we're directly above it, it won't be able to fire at us anymore. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Don't overshoot it. Okay, good. Now, time to jump off. Hello there, enemy. How are you, sir? Where is the AI going to be? I'm thinking this main building over here, with the weapon itself. Am I wrong? Am I right? Let's find out. Are you the AI? You are something. Are you ammo? Heartstone? Not AI anyway, so not really important what it actually is. Aha! Yes? Yes, excellent. That's what I wanted to see. Try that again. Totally try 2 and not try like 5 or 6. There we go, we're in. Also, isn't that an NPC spawner? I haven't seen a single NPC so far, which is kind of weird. 1, 2, closer this time. There we go. So we meet again. River Rat, look at you. What on earth is this? You gonna made yourself almost into a man. Got a bit o' scruff on your chin, you do. I've actually got quite a big beard, honestly, these days. Now, I know what you be thinking. They're thinking here's your chance to get your family home back and a bit of revenge while you're at it. But I must warn you, I've learned so much from those shiny technologies on that old boat that I've applied them to my own prowler. You best just run along if you know what's good for you. I have no idea what this is, by the way. Do we have, like, a unique enemy? The Prowler. Yes, we do. Captain Sal. Oh, yeah, because the Captain Lords. Okay, are you actually moving? 80,000. You know what? If you're not going to fight us, we're going to sit here, we're going to save up until we have 75,000 resources, and then we're going to spawn in our battleship, and then we're going to annihilate you. Mere moments later, and we get another message. It's been literally like 10 seconds, by the way, since I stopped the last recording, so squatters! Well, look at you, all cozy in that there fort that definitely ain't belonging to you. Last I heard, that was property of Pirate Lord Rugger, or Ruger, or Roger, and you sure don't look like him. Old Lord Ruger ain't been heard from going on 3 months, and we can't help but feel you be a bit involved in his disappearance. It's the Pirate Council's decision that what's not yours now belongs to us, so hand over the shinies. Is that just you again? I don't quite know what happened with that one. On the upside, we're getting resources incredibly quickly, so within like the next couple of minutes we will have the battleship. I have this bizarre feeling that these robots aren't actually repairing or helping in any way. But they're dancing, so we will keep them around just for the fun of it. Also, at this point, I realise the ship is actually a little bit bigger than I realised in the sandbox mode. I don't know if I'm proud of myself for not realising it up until this point, or kind of disappointed in my lack of spatial awareness. Let's be proud. Let's all be proud of Lathrix for once, shall we? Whilst we wait for the Molalla Will, which will likely have a name change soon, I have decided we are going to be renaming the test fly according to popular demand, multiple comments, and upvoted comments. They are going to be called the Cornflakes. And honestly, I think it's my fault because I decided for a brief moment it would be funny to have this in the background of one of the recording shots. Which is still there, by the way. So yeah, the flyers are going to be called the Cornflakes. I don't know if I'm really proud of all of my comments and my lovely viewers, or deeply ashamed. Honestly, I think I'm remarkably proud of you all. There we go. It's now officially renamed the Corn Flag. Now, these two won't be renamed automatically, but I will change them manually before the end of this episode, or at least before the start of the next one. I am so curious as to what these enemies are, and I'm really hoping our battleship actually works, because this will be its first proper test. Also, I see a resource zone. Now, I wonder, is that going to be a resource zone held by the Deepwater Guard, or is that going to be held by another faction? And speaking of resources, why have the Deepwater Guard not attacked us yet? We are on ×2. I want to see their forces. That's when we get to see the more difficult designs, or at least things like the Marauder, which is kind of famous at this point as a kind of punching bag. Punching bag. Words are difficult. Well, there we go. The first resource zone we captured is already completely out of resource, which isn't too hard to believe, considering it only had 20,000 resources or so to begin with. So what we're going to do is we are actually going to delete the Sinner's Outpost as soon as our new battleship is nearly finished, so that when it goes past it, it will absorb those resources, so that we can use them for builds in the future. So, Sinner's Outpost, you were amusing, you had a minion with a nuke inside, and goodbye. 9,000 resource, really? I did not expect that to be so expensive. That's almost the same cost as one of our drones, and although the drones aren't too big, almost all of their cost comes from their weaponry, which they have quite a lot of, so I am surprised by this. Happily surprised. Money, everyone. Finally, here it comes, the Molalla Will, which every time I say it out loud, it's such a cool and, I admit, such an edgy kind of name. But out loud, it sounds even weirder than I originally pictured it, so that is going to be changed, especially since we have the symbol of corn as our flag. Which is a pretty big deal considering corn and Molalla sort of want to kill each other. Doesn't really work all that well. Okay, so I've just added a really basic detection system to this craft, so during the fight, if any of the shots seem a little bit, well, drunken perhaps, then that's just because the detection system hasn't yet been perfected because we are running out of time in the actual game before we get attacked. And honestly, it's still so weird to have such a medium to large ship so early on. This is the first time I've ever really built with the majority of wood rather than using metal. It's incredibly vulnerable, but even if it loses a huge section, it won't be too difficult to repair. Even if half of it is removed, that's only costing me less than 40,000 resource, so hopefully this will do extremely well, and then this will become a bit of a cannon fodder type ship, despite its size. Did I mention I'm quite happy with this? Because I kind of am. Well, here we go then, the very first test of the Molalla Will. Now, this may end up not doing as well as I originally thought, because this is the very first test, so any major problems will be highlighted right now, and I will have to change things. The detection system likely isn't perfect either. So we have the Prowler, a very large, very expensive vehicle. We have the Wanderlust, which is also fairly expensive. And we have this thing. I have no idea what this thing is. It's a flyer, and that's it, really. That's all I know about it. So let's just hope this ends well. So let's have a look-see at the enemies then. So this, I believe, is the Prowler. It kind of looks like a smaller version of the Plunderer. Actually, it looks exactly like the Plunderer. Is that even smaller? I think it is, because I vaguely recall the Plunderer having like an open section here. Okay, so you definitely have missiles. That's going to be incredibly irritating. You have a cram cannon, and you have some kind of laser defense. So I'm assuming anti-missile. In fact, it has to be anti-missile, because that's all that really is. It's anti-munitions. And then we have the Flyer, which looks really awesome. Look at that little anti-air cannon on the top. That looks really cool. Then you have another cannon on the bottom, you have missiles, and is that it? Nope, you have a cannon on the back as well. Very, very cool looking, but also a little bit frail looking, which I'm hoping is actually the case. There we go, some of the guns are now firing from the Mollalla's Will. There we go, the main cannon has just hit once and instantly removed a section. Sadly, it seems like this enemy is completely covered in shields, which is countering a lot of the faster shooting shots there. Incoming the cram cannons from the Will. Yeah, the detection system seems a little bit off, but it's doing fine for the advanced cannons. Just clearly, the armor-penetrating ones need to be swapped out for frag or something else, because they are all being countered by shields. A cram cannon got underneath, obliterating the underside, and pretty much removing this one from play. Very happy with that, indeed. Although, I managed to get killed by one of my own guns, which is just great. Clearly, I need a seat somewhere on the Mollalla's Will so I don't get killed by my own weaponry. Also, we have lost one of our advanced cannons, but that was to be expected, honestly. How are our two flyers doing? Well, the one is going low for some... I honestly thought that was one of our drones. Okay, now I feel a bit dumb. Nope, both drones are doing just fine. But as you can see, we can pepper things with shells, and if they don't have a shield, it's going to be removed from play, but... yeah, we really have to change out those shells. If the enemy has a shield, we do nothing. So, overall, I am very satisfied by the result. It was a very clear victory from the Will. It's just... the cram cannons seem to be a little bit off in terms of their aim, although that is a problem with cram cannons. Since they're so slow, they do tend to veer off a little bit. And, of course, the shells need to be swapped, so I'm really happy with that. The main cannon was doing a good job as well, so... yeah, for something which only costs 75,000 resources, this thing just obliterated the enemy, and hopefully we can get some more tests with it very, very soon. Okay, so I've got a bit of a plan right now, which I think I will put into play quite soon. We are going to have 2 more of this ship, which does sound a little bit silly, but the reason is we can have 2 exactly like we have it already. The third, I'm going to remove the main cannon here and put in a sort of bridge so that I can simply sit in it. That way, I will have a command ship and 2 smaller ships, because honestly... this is just so cheap, we can keep on making these. We could use these as cannon fodder, which is really weird, honestly, since I put so much time into it, but cannon fodder is absolutely fine by me. Now, I'm going to take a few minutes to work on the detection system to see if it's the cram shells or the detection system, and then we'll get into one more battle before we end the episode. A glorious new dawn, which honestly just makes everything look so much cooler. So now, I have worked on the detection systems, I've tried to tweak it a lot so it's a bit more accurate, especially for the cram cannons, and I've also added a seat, which is just underneath that walkway there, which is considered one of the safest areas on this ship, since it's the only place where there's not high explosive things around it. There's also one over there. So yeah, they're like the 2 safe areas. I've got a chair there now, so I can simply relax during the battle. Into the first battle, only using the Mollalla's Will. So we are against 2 Corsairs and 1 Shrike. So the Shrike itself isn't too powerful, but if it does manage to get above us, it has a lot of mines, which can do a fair bit of damage to a localized area. The Corsairs seem to have very annoying looking advanced cannons and a couple of missiles. Okay, you may now actually begin. I like that plopping noise then. Can you please hit? Thank you. There's all the main guns firing. Yep, that's that pretty much done for. It seems to fire a tad low. Maybe that's because of the recoil. Maybe the recoil's causing it to change its fire rate. And now it's aiming at the Shrike, and the Shrike instantly gets blown from the sky. That looks so weird. Against larger ships, I imagine this would do far better. It does have a good detection system though, I've checked several times. This is just natural derpiness. And sadly, cram cannons take so long to fire, they didn't really get much done in this fight. So, not bad at all. We've taken a little bit of damage on the front cannon, and that's it. So, like 1% damage. Seriously, almost that whole cannon is only 1% of our health? That is amazing. Time for tips with Lathrix, especially when Lathrix has done something incredibly dumb. So you see here, we have all 4 of these turrets, the main guns, along with the main gun. A little bit too much in the way of main things, but either way, that section there is most of our firepower. Well, I have done a really rookie mistake when I was creating these weapons. So here is the mistake. On all of the advanced cannons, I had accidentally left the required accuracy before fire on 2, rather than downscaling it to 0.5. This means they were firing a little bit early when they weren't quite targeting the enemy yet, and that's why it looked like it took a few shots before they eventually fully aimed, because that's exactly what they were doing. A really silly mistake. It's something you can quickly overlook, and honestly, it's incredibly annoying. So to change this, all you do is go into one of your turrets, you go to the turret itself, which should be somewhere around here, and there we are, there's the required accuracy, and then you do the same for the cannons as well. This ensures that the gun only fires when it's actually targeting the enemy and not too early, which can be really bad for slow firing weapons like the main gun there, or these little cram cannons. Well, we have something to worry about. There is an airship Gantry just over here currently loading a force. I assume it's already sent a force against us, but it's probably ended up reinforcing one of the tiles next to it, and that's why the numbers are now increasing quite drastically. We do also have this resource zone over here, which I would very much like. Even though it's only 9,000 resource, it's still pretty helpful. And then we have this over here, this regular Gantry. Okay, Molalla Will, you can deal with the Gantry. You two can go over here and deal with this, and hopefully deal with the Strength 32. I'm afraid this is going to be the last battle of the day, because sadly, I am really running out of time. So against us, we have the swordfish, which is this lovely thing here. Yes, indeed, that is the swordfish. We have the 2 regular defense towers, and then we have a couple of houses. So, let the siege begin! Apparently you really don't like that flyer. Yep, you really don't like that. That's fine. Well, that'll be dead pretty soon as you land one good hit there. Yeah, and you're gone just before the cram cannons could hit you. Now targeting the buildings, which is much easier. Look at that. It went straight through. Ignore salvage, please, and combat mode, not fleet move. Yeah. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Oh my god, that's awesome. Oh, that's just so many shells. Cram cannons are helping. There we go. I think we lost a chunk on the side. Yeah, we lost one of these small cannons, and we lost... Oh no, we didn't lose one of the advanced cannons. Well, that was a pretty worthwhile trade, I have to say. Still not sure what's going on with this thing. I don't think it is the detection system, I think it's just the game. Because when you look at the enemies firing, really pay attention to how many shots actually hit. With advanced cannons and cram cannons, there is just amount of variance. There is some variance in this game, so I'm actually really happy. In terms of firepower and cost efficiency, I think it's going to be just fine. And now I can't see a thing. Well, with that, I'm afraid I am all out of time for today's episode. If you have enjoyed, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that From the Depths is a series you wish to see continued in the future. In the next episode, if we're very lucky, we may be able to end the Deepwater Guard, or at least get way more of their territory. We are already pretty close to halfway through the map, and considering the lightning hoods are over here as well, they must have a main base very, very close by. So, thank you for watching, and goodbye.